Good morning and happy Wednesday. So I have a quick little update just to show you what I'm up to, and it's going to be another shop oriented thing because I have some big goals that pertain to loosely calling it a remodel, but we have a big square in this office that we rent out, and the front has always been a showroom turned corner gift shop type of vibe, and as you can see, some new furniture has been added. So last night I think I worked for like 6 hours all by myself. Plan is to have not a warehouse anymore in the back, which means we had like external storage somewhere else. We got a warehouse that we had to move everything into. It's not too far, so I can still go and restock and ship out things if something sells out here. But essentially, I want to open up the store, have more hanging display areas. It's gonna go all the way down essentially. And then this space is going to be certain display, organized stationary display areas as well. And let me show you, let me take you back to the new employee only area. So this painting area is not going to be here at all. It's just a little bit crammed right now. Packaging materials, printing, paper goods, and then voila, this is the area that is going to be open. We do have another door that's never been really used before, and then the tattoo that Tam does, the hand poke studio, is going to be along here with the natural lighting. And then it's also going to be a makeshift pop-up space because in February, maybe even March, I want to hold some other artist events and new classes, and this is just much easier than the previous convertible community space that we had. I just really don't have the bandwidth to edit something else. I have that feeling inside of me when I'm like, feel like I'm pulled in different directions, and it's a sign to slow down and take stock of like, what are you trying to do, and is it worth it? Because my body is screaming at me and being like, don't do it, that's not a good idea, because you're basically going to neglect some other looming priorities. Like, this space needs to be clean by tomorrow because a tattoo client's coming in, they cannot see it like this. Other things, yeah. So I feel a little bit overwhelmed, and this is just a honest, direct look into a day in my life. And I just want to also pop in and say, though, one reason why I was adamant about not doing a video this week is because it is our 12-year birthday to this channel, and I'm so grateful to be here, and I can't believe it's been 12 years. I feel like in the past I just let the years go by. I had other shit that I was like dealing with, so I feel like definitely thinking about YouTube and like the calendar mark of the milestones was not even top of mind. It was like not even close. It kind of just like went by without me noticing. Let me turn off the heater. But this year it was becoming increasingly evident because I've been thinking about what my career life is now, where I'm headed, like how did I even get here, and it's been a crazy ride for sure. And I'm really glad that I took a chance on myself all those years ago. I also, to this day, feel like I still struggle with a lot of impostor syndrome and self-doubt and low self-esteem. Maybe that's just how human brains are wired, to have that type of negative bias and question whether or not we're on the right path. And I shouldn't be expecting myself to operate on like a completely flawless, happy-go-lucky personality, because it's always the grass is greener on the other side. You don't know what it's like, so you assume that what's not your situation is better. But I am here to say that I still have a lot to figure out, but after 12 years of taking a chance on myself and starting my channel and just doing the thing, the goalpost does move a lot, because you're like, wow, I was doing that. Let it sink in. I'm proud of myself. Oh wow, what else can I do? I want to try hard and see if I can do this, do that. And sometimes I'm like, did I bite off more than I can chew? A good amount of the real work is showing up for yourself every day. Every second, it's like you face yourself and the self-doubt, and you're really believing in yourself. And I have to say that I think halfway through the 12 years, like especially when the channel went viral and there was just a lot of attention and a ton of scrutiny on me, I didn't really believe in myself, and I felt like I was swept up in it and I didn't really deserve the success or... Hi.
Hello.
For sharing your...
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Wow, that was the sweetest thing. A couple came in with their new puppy. Well, it's not a puppy. The dog is 3 years old, but I call it puppy because it's like their baby. And the dog's only been with them for 3 weeks, so she's not really trained, and I like got to give her some treats, and they told me that she's kind of picky, but she liked the treats that I had, so I was like, yay. So see, this is exactly why I can't sit down to produce a proper video today. I'm just gonna have to do this little spend some time with each other chill video. Do you remember when YouTube used to be chill all the time? Like, I feel like the short form content of today is a lot more uncut, unedited, and raw, and people miss that type of authenticity and the type of free expression that you can get out of it. And like Instagram and YouTube and all of that is quite polished and demanding. So I'm trying to bring the spirit of 2009 YouTube back, when we would just turn on the webcam, talk about advice, you know, how do you put in a tampon? What do you do when you like a boy? Just all things I actually remember watching and really liking. And we just talked to one another, and the world connected in a way it never has before. So, okay, I'm just gonna close out soon because this talk is getting unhinged. I was taking a look back at my YouTube feed last night, and something that I realized was there are videos that I totally blanked out and forgot about, and when I clicked through them, it made me feel very emotional, because for a long time I feel like I didn't acknowledge my work as my art or my expression, because there's such a difference between content still and our visual art, fine art, and you know, things have changed a lot, especially in the last 5 years. But like when I went to college, it was still, I feel like, a catty thing, and I felt very shy about sharing that I made content, because there's like the part of me who's always wanted to do it, and I loved making videos, and it felt very natural to me, maybe because my grandfather had always made vlogs growing up. And I talked about it in this little video where I talk about my video cameras and why I was using one of his Sony point and shoots. So I'm gonna see if I can remember putting cards here so you can watch other stuff. And as I looked through my videos, one thing is clear. I feel very grateful that no matter how many views I've gotten from the very beginning till now, I always gave editing and storytelling my all, and I tried to make it the best that I could. And it really represented the effort and interest and passion that I wanted to put out there in the world. And even though I've had my share of low self-esteem and other mental struggles and mental illnesses and that type of stuff, I do now see that being even willing to take a chance on myself and upload a video online when you're 13, it sounds pretty crazy when you think about it. Like, maybe one day they're gonna do studies on me to see, is my brain okay? Am I living a healthy life? Having been exposed like this on the internet for like 60, 80 years, who knows? You're gonna literally watch me live and die on screen, and one day, if you're watching 500 years from now, what is this? Like, wow, this is just weird to fathom right now, but I send you love no matter where you are, and I hope that you're doing well and resting and sleeping. And going back to what I was saying, I see that even though I wanted something so badly and I would chase all these goals, and I felt like a lot of times I told myself I wasn't good enough, and that would keep me up at night, or it would torment me, and I maybe wish I didn't spend so many years treating myself that way. But I believed in myself enough to take a chance, and that says something. Even if you do something in a struggled way, or you do something and meet a lot more resistance and it feels like it's going upstream and you keep pushing and pushing and you just want everything to be easy, I don't think that everyone is starting at the same point, and sometimes we're not gonna have an easy time. And I think that your weaknesses can be strengths in other ways, and it can be leveraged. And I feel like one way I can do that is it allows me to be very empathetic towards others, because when I sense that other people are also really hard on themselves or have a perfectionist tendency, it makes me want to exercise compassion towards them and then realize, wow, have I done that to myself? Okay, yeah, maybe I should be kinder to myself too. Maybe I should just show up and do the best I can. And the walk to the subway, the walk here, like every day it feels like I'm facing little tidbits of, like, I've mentioned this in my beginning of the year video where I said, like, go at your own pace. That video, I'm gonna link it as well. I was saying something like, I don't want to tune in to endless streams of distractions or constant comfort, and I'm trying to face like the waves of what thoughts come up and surface when I'm sitting in silence. And when I commute and I'm not really listening to something, I can kind of feel these waves of fear or doubt come at me, and I am trying to attack that right now. I think attack, it's the wrong word. It's quite violent, and I for so long have been doing what we're conditioned to do, which is reach outside of ourselves and find external validation, work on your channel, grow your following, launch your business, make this money, show people that you're doing it, whatever. And like, none of that truly amounts to anything if your character does not evolve at the same level as your external accomplishments. Like, what does it say at the end of your life if you don't end up with a community around you or surrounded by like-minded people that joined you for the journey? And that's what I'm very, very proud of, because God knows that when I first went off to college, and basically like that was just before my channel really took off. I had already been doing YouTube for 3 years, and I had a couple of good friends, but I lost that when I went to college. I started over. I didn't have anybody I knew, and I was very scared because I felt like, oh, there's that first sip. I felt like people are just bound to dislike me because I wasn't cool enough or interesting enough to have friends. And I still kind of feel that way sometimes. My phone storage is full. I think tracks back to some childhood experiences where I have been bullied or been left out, and just felt clearly picked out and put down for whatever reason, like just for being who I am. And that type of belief takes a long time to shake. It's kind of ridiculous. But a character development experience I really value is that last year I taught after school every Monday, Tuesday, and I wanted to be with elementary school kids, and it was really great and fun spending time with them. And that was kind of like my side hustle as I was juggling this. And I recalled feeling like when you're around these children that are between 5 and 9 years old and they're still forming their identities, it's a really important time to instill positive self-belief traits into them if there's the opportunity to. And I just realize that I do have a lot of love and abundance within me, and it just feels selective because it's so easy to have it free flowing and give it out to others, especially children, because I love kids very much. And I remember telling them how much love there is out there in the world and how much love I have for them just for being who they are. And it's time that we realize that we were just a kid too, and we were trying our best. And how great would it be to give yourself some of that hard-earned love, and how to formulate this into words. But like, it definitely took me a long time to get to this place, and I would like to put some of that sweet, nurturing treatment onto myself. And I'm no different from them, except I just have more experience and more adult life burdens. But that's where they're headed, and I tell them you don't have to be afraid of growing up, and it doesn't get worse. Like, I think that's very cynical, but when I was little, I've always looked forward to growing up. I wanted responsibility, and I wanted that agency. And so here you go. For the last 12 years, I have been growing up kind of on camera too. So it's weird to look back. There's so many moments that I'm just like, look at those eyebrows, you know? Like, one of the biggest things I've ever evolved was just the eyebrow trend and my eyebrows. And I'm so glad that I don't have to put effort right now. Like, just leaving my brow hairs natural has taken how many hours of my life have I gotten back? Probably a lot, but let's not do the girl math right now. And you have to look back and face that it was your truth at one point, but that's all it is. Also, you are kind of forced to accept that part of yourself and love it and not cringe and just be like, wow, that was that. And I own that. So here we go. Here's to another 12 years, my loves. I'm kidding. Who knows? Who knows what it will be like? I am not married to any ideas and not set on things. I think the unknown is meant to be left to unfold. Wish me luck on the studio update. I will give you a nice tour when it's all done. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching and listening to my stories and caring about me as strangers on the internet can. What other announcements do I have? I cannot wait to set up this new space so I can make more art again. You know, aside from the oil paintings, I've been missing on other stuff, and I can't wait to do that. Let's get creating. Let's get creating really soon. Can't wait to work with my hands. Okay. Bye. Love you. Take care of yourself.